the one, the only Benzion. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Benzion Gittin daf Iyun number 70. We actually got back to some of the halachas of Gittin today after talking about some of the remedies for different ailments. The parak talks about kordikis. It starts about kordikis, which is some sort of delusional state that shade gets into your body. You're demons. You're possessed by demons. You're delusional. You believe things that aren't true. Maybe you even see things, right? Maybe you have hallucinations. You're delusional. You're on drugs, things like that. LSD. You're seeing things. You believe things that are not true, right? So what's the halacha? The halacha is, it says in the Mishnah that if his mind is lucid and he tells the right to get for his wife, and then he becomes delusional, and he says don't write the get for his wife, we ignore the second instructions, and we give the get. Now, when do we give the get? Rishon says you give the get immediately. Rabbi Yochanan says no, you have to wait till he becomes mentally lucid again. He's no longer delusional. The hallucinations pass, and then you can give the get. You don't have to consult him again, but now you give him an opportunity. If he wants to, he can retract. So, Rabbi Yochanan, we pass like Rabbi Yochanan. Rishon says you give it right away. We pass like Rabbi Yochanan, you don't give it right away. What if you did give it right away? Would it be valid or not? So the Rambam writes that Rabbi Yochanan is only Xera D'Rabbanan. Midoraisa, you can give it right away. The Torah says that Midoraisa you can't give it. Now, who's right? The nafkamina between the Rambam and the Torah is as follows. Let's say you did do it. He was delusional, he had hallucinations, and you did do it before he became mentally lucid again. Is it a valid get or not? According to the Rambam, it's a valid get, midoraisa. And she would remarry, the children will be mamzerim. But according to, or the mamzerim d'Rabbanan, not really mamzerim d'Oraisa, according to the Torah, technically it's not a get at all. Not a get at all, and the children from the second marriage will be mamzerim. Very important nafkamina. My opinion, I'll tell you who I paskin like. I'm not a rabbi, but to me, it seems that the Torah is correct, because the Gemara has a question. The Gemara says, if you assume, like Rabbi Yochanan, right, that we don't assume that you can give it right away. The Gemara asks a question. Let's say someone is being hanged, or someone is beheaded or partially beheaded. He's going to die very soon, and he instructs to give a get to his wife at that point. So the halacha is, even though he dies within a couple of minutes, right, you can write the get and give the get to the wife. So the Gemara says, well, how is that possible? According to Rabbi Yochanan, it should be like over here. He was mentally competent when he instructed to give the get. And now he's basically delusional, or he has hallucinations, he's going crazy, so to speak. So do we, it should be like that person's dying, he's beheaded, he's about to die. Right? It shouldn't be a get. You should be able. If you say the halacha is you can write the get and give it. He's about to die. He's being beheaded or he's hanged. So here also Rabbi Yochanan. It should be like Reish Lakish. You should give the get right away. Why do you have to wait till the guy gets better? So the Gemara answer is that when a person is being hanged or he's being beheaded, his mind is very lucid. His body began to die, began to falter. But his mind was completely lucid at the time of the instruction. But here, the Gemara says, when a person becomes delusional or hallucinates, it's not right. It's not like, you go from off to on or on to off. You're on mentally competent, and you just flick a switch. And when a person becomes delusional, that already started a long time ago. You see this by mental illnesses, and you also see this when people are delusional. Delusional is a type of mental illness also. When they talk about, the Gemara talks about, the poskim talk about different types of mental illness. A shota, the Gemara has a shota, the deranged person, that's a lot more significant. A deranged person is much worse than a person who's delusional or has hallucinations, because you have delusional, let's say you took some drugs or something, you can get back to your former self. You can get rid of the drugs, you can get back to, but when you take, a mental illness, oftentimes there's medication for it, but it's not 100% effective. Takes many years to find the correct combination, so it's not easily reversible. Someone who has bipolar or something like that, or borderline personality disorder, things like that, those are much more difficult, or Asperger's, or on the autism spectrum, or Down syndrome. Unfortunately for those people who have it, those people are shotas. Those people, you can't really heal those people. And some form of mental illness you can't heal, but delusions or hallucinations, there's ways of healing it. But the important line of the Gemara says Daita Shagishtahi, meaning even when he gave the instructions, he was in some way already mentally incapacitated, because his das was not clear, his mind wasn't clear. It happened, right? It happened. His mind was lucid, and then delusion, right? We assume the delusional thoughts already started or already were mixed into his mind when he gave the instructions. In which case, it wasn't an effective instruction, right? So therefore, according to Rabbi Yochanan, you have to wait till he becomes mentally lucid again. And then, if he doesn't say anything, right, we bring proof from that. If he's not saying to retract giving the get, so obviously, beforehand, he was completely mentally lucid. It proves retroactively that he was mentally lucid. Otherwise, he'd retract and tell him to stop giving the get. So that's what Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara says it very clearly. There's something messed up with his mind. There's something messed up with his mind. So therefore, it's clear that the instructions that he gave are not good instructions. You can't give the get in the interim. Once he becomes better and he becomes lucid, mentally lucid again, so then it can prove that he was mentally lucid in the beginning. But otherwise, we're not sure. And we're not sure, so therefore, you can't give the get. Maybe it's a suffix. Maybe it's really a suffix whether his das was mishugash, whether it was delusional when he instructed to give the get or not. So there should at least be a suffix del raisa, and it should be pasal get, midal raisa, because how we raisa the chumrah, she has a cheskas eishes, we assume she's not divorced, and you have to write a new get for her. That should be the halacha like a Torah. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.